Welcome to Cruise News Central with Joseph.
I'm old enough to remember when you could sit down to dinner on a cruise ship and not have a disgruntled vegan lecture you on why you're a bad person for eating meat. We have that story and a whole lot more. On Cruise News Central, we get you the stories like no one else can. My name is Joseph. Let's roll the episode. In our first story, we have a cruise passenger that doesn't understand why she needs to carry her cell phone with her everywhere she goes on the ship. She was actually told she couldn't be seated for dinner unless she went back and retrieved her phone first, and it only got worse from there. You know, some of us that didn't grow up with cell phones in our hand would like the option to unplug when we go on vacation. Let's roll the story.
Many cruise passengers voiced their frustration after a woman wrote into Carnival Cruise brand ambassador John Heald asking why she can't get seated for dinner without having her phone with her. Carnival Cruise Line, as well as many others, use their phone app to schedule activities and dinner times. This cruise passenger showed up for dinner without her phone and was told she had to retrieve it before she could be seated. Then, to make things worse, she sat down and was not given a paper menu and was told to use the QR code on the table to bring up the menu on her phone. For some, this is a brilliant way to communicate and makes the cruise experience even better. But for others who aren't tech savvy or who just want to unplug on their cruise vacation, it's a roadblock to enjoying their cruise experience. Mr. Heald was sympathetic to the cruiser's situation and promised to let Carnival high-up officials know about her concerns. It should be noted that paper menus are available upon request. Do we need to just accept that we always need our phone with us, or should there be a way to take a cruise vacation without the need for technology?
This week, a man was arrested as he walked off a cruise ship in Miami for being one of the most horrible dads in history. I think most of us can agree that we wouldn't be the fine people we are without our dad's help in bringing us up. Let's roll the story.
In the latest cruise ship drama, a man who has been on the run from police for the last 10 years was arrested as he stepped off of a cruise ship in Miami. The man, Dominic Weaver, allegedly owes about $100,000 in child support. The alleged deadbeat dad has 4 child support cases against him and the possibility of more felony indictments. Taking a cruise vacation is a bad idea if you're on the run, as the names of cruise passengers can be matched against law enforcement databases looking for criminals just like Dominic. Weaver was transferred from Miami to the Louisville Metro Department of Corrections. His next court date is set for January 6th.
You know when you're at the airport and you're waiting in line to go through security, and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if my shampoo is going to be confiscated, or I can't remember if toothpaste is considered a liquid. Well, we have a story of a woman that could really use a refresher course on what you can and can't bring on an airplane. Let's roll the story.
The TSA found 90 prohibited items in one woman's carry-on bag. In this impressive feat of either being completely unaware of any of the rules of flying that have been in place for years now, or possibly just trying to see if she could get away with it, the woman was found to have 82 fireworks, 3 knives, 2 replica firearms, and a canister of pepper spray. Obviously none of which are allowed in a carry-on bag. Travelers like this woman are who you don't want to get stuck behind in line going through security. It's estimated that more than 120 million people will be traveling this holiday season. Those kinds of numbers lead to long waits in the TSA lines, crowded airports, and increased probabilities of people running late to catch their plane.
Hey, we still need to talk about the unhinged vegan that made some pretty heavy demands to the maitre d' at main dining. But first, we need to talk about the darker side of cruising. There have been 2 tragic man overboard situations in the last week, making a total of 19 cruise ship overboard cases in 2024. Let's roll the story. There is some sad cruise news this Christmas Eve as a 48-year-old woman has jumped from the Sky Princess cruise ship. To make matters worse, she hit the ship's lower deck on the way down and never made it to the water. The Princess medical team immediately treated the woman but were unable to resuscitate her. In a social media post, one of the passengers on the ship said she was eating dinner at Celio restaurant when the captain announced what had happened. The whole dining room went silent and somber and everyone stopped moving. She described the scene as very chilling. Another person wrote, "This evening on the Sky Princess, the captain announced that someone had taken their life jumping off an upper deck of the ship. The captain handled a terrible situation professionally and with compassion. I'm devastated for the families and friends."
The 19th person to jump or fall from a cruise ship happened yesterday on the Norwegian cruise line ship Epic. The 51-year-old man who was traveling with family went overboard at about 3 o'clock. Rescue operations started immediately. The ship's crew put a flare in the water to mark the location of the man, then the ship started a grid pattern search. The Holland America Zuiderdam was nearby and joined the effort to find the missing passenger. After an extensive search that was unfortunately unsuccessful, the NCL ship was released by authorities to continue its voyage one passenger down. Although rare, between 2009 and 2019, there were 212 man overboard incidents on cruise ships. That works out to roughly 19 per year.
I really don't have anything against vegans or vegetarians or people that mostly eat meat. What I do have a problem with is being preached at and lectured by someone that I have a difference of opinion about what they choose to eat. This story might make you a little angry, but the ending makes everything okay. Let's roll the story.
What would you have done if you had a crazed vegan telling you how horrible you are for eating meat at dinner on a cruise ship? An upset, you might even say enraged vegan cruise ship passenger gave a piece of her mind to a couple she was seated with at dinner. The couple she was seated with happened to be farmers in their 60s who raised cows and sheep as their career. So as a vegan, the woman felt she could throw a tantrum and selfishly make other passengers uncomfortable because they don't share the same eating beliefs as her. Carnival brand ambassador John Heald was contacted by the vegan woman, who said as a non-meat eater and animal lover, she decided to tell the farmer what she thought of him and then told the senior maitre d' that they needed to be removed from their table. Brand Ambassador Heald diplomatically pointed out that Carnival does have a vegan menu and respects the vegan lifestyle, but also points out, and I'm paraphrasing here, that verbally abusing a farmer who spent most of his life providing food for all of us shouldn't have to be berated at dinner by an unhinged vegan. The situation was resolved by relocating the farming couple not because of the lady's insistence, but because the ship found them a nice table for two, where tonight they will be offered a steakhouse selection, compliments of Mr. Heald himself.
Have you ever been sick on a cruise ship and had to go to the medical facility? Unless you have some solid traveler's insurance, make sure you ask for the prices before you agree to any treatment, or you may be in for a big surprise. Let's roll the story.
A cruise passenger having an allergic reaction was told that a dose of the allergy medication Benadryl would cost her $390. The woman sharing her story on TikTok shows that her face was swelling up and speculated that it was a reaction to something she had eaten. She says that she was able to find another passenger on the ship that had brought some Benadryl and was willing to share some with her. She also shares that the ship's medical services did have some of the medication, but the cost would have been $390.
$390 for them to give me Benadryl.
Getting medical services on a cruise ship are notoriously expensive. Do you think the cruise line should be able to provide basic medicine like this at a reasonable price? Or is it up to the passengers to be prepared for their own surprise medical needs?
We have a video all about the ins and outs of travel insurance. Check it out before your next cruise, and it might just save you a lot of money. We'll have a link to it in the description. If you like this video, check out this other cruise news video that you're seeing on the screen right now. That's it for Cruise News Central on December 29th in the year of our Lord 2024. Always remember, no matter what cruise destination you choose, no matter what cruise line you choose, adventure awaits. Oh, and I had a complaint last week from somebody in the comments that said they were really annoyed by me doing this motion when I say let's roll the story. I just wanted to add this in for them at the end. Let's roll the story.